Hi guys, I just wanted to share something with you that I'm very impressed with. As a Weissenborn player, I'm often looking to play in higher pitches, and the obvious thing to do is to use capos. Up to now, I've used the traditional beard capo. Undo the screw. This bar goes underneath your strings. All a bit fiddly, isn't it? Right, so tighten it up. Now, this capo served me well. I've got no complaints with it, but I had a few little gripes. One of the gripes was when I played with it and I got a little over enthusiastic with my hammer-ons, this happened. You can hardly hear that, but the bottom of the capo is actually touching my fingerboard. Now, if you're playing in a live situation or just playing at home, that's hardly noticeable. However, if you're recording and you've got two condenser microphones pointed right at your guitar, that picks up. So I have been looking for a long time for alternative capos to Weissenborns, and to be honest with you, there's not a lot on the market. One capo manufacturer had caught my attention in the past, and he designed a capo specifically for resonators at the time. His name was Martin Gross. He's a German resonator player that just happens to be a superb engineer in his spare time, and he developed a capo for resonators. Now this one is for Weissenborn guitars. And what makes this different to what for Weissenborn guitars? Well, the back. The back is totally flat. Now, the ones I'd seen Martin make for resonator, there was a nut sticking out here, which when you're putting it on a square neck resonator, the nut hung out the side of the board, didn't interfere with anything. You could slide it up and down, not a problem. Trouble with Weissenborns is the neck starts flaring out from about the second fret onwards. That nut would have interfered with the body. Then I saw he'd made a hybrid version, one with a longer bass to suit the wider neck, but it still had this nut. So I got hold of Martin and I said to him, look, can you make me one of these hybrid capos, but is there any way you can totally recess this nut into the bass so the bass is completely flat? And he said, yes, I can do that. So I commissioned Martin to make me this capo. Now, this capo is specific to a Weissenborn, and it's specific to this Weissenborn. Reason being is this height here is the exact height of my strings for my fingerboard. Now, when you ask Martin to make you one of these capos, he'll ask you for a few measurements, various heights of the string to the fretboard at different intervals. He'll ask you for the width of the strings, width of the fingerboard. All these measurements culminate in making a capo that is a perfect fit for your Weissenborn. Now, you're still not hearing why I think this is better than the beard capo which I've been using. Well, it's better in three different ways. Now, the first way to me is fitting it. You saw me messing around with that beard capo earlier. It's a little bit of a palaver. All I do with this is slide it under my strings, line it up to the fretboard marker, put the bar down, clip it on, done. Some of you might have picked up on my second thing I think is an advantage of this capo, the tone and the sustain. Now this iPhone video won't really do this part of it justice, and to most people they probably won't hear a massive difference, but there is a difference. The difference in sustain comes from the fact that this block, this brass block, is anchored directly onto your fingerboard. Now that helps with the sustain and the tone, but the other advantage of that now is no bounce. It's rock solid. So it's rock solid sitting on a brass block which is acting as the nut. Now when you play it you can really hear how sweet this sounds. Now that, to me, is the best Weissenborn capo you'll ever want. You'll never want another one again after you've used one of these. And the amazing thing about this capo is not only did Martin make this specifically for my Weissenborn, he gave me a money back guarantee and said to me, if you don't like this capo, you don't pay for it. You simply send it back to me and that's that. I didn't pay a penny until I received this in the post. I tried it and I was happy with it. Now, the capo cost me, including postage from Germany to the UK, it cost me €53. Now, to me, that's money well spent, because this is just a precision piece of engineering. Look at it, look. It's absolutely beautiful. It looks beautiful. It works perfectly. It's brilliant in every way. I really can't say enough about this capo. I'm not being advertised to sell it. I'm not being paid to sell it. I just want all you Weissenborn people out there to see and to make inquiries about this capo. I'll put the links on the video for his website and email to make inquiries to. But to me, this is something that I will always have as long as I have my Weissenborn.